Hi everyone, my name is Casey and I'm about to tell you how I got revenge against my entire school. Oh yes, sweet revenge. At one point in your life, you had probably felt you needed to make justice with your own hands, right? Well, I could do that with just a simple laptop. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and like my video, please. Now, probably the first thing you need to know about me is I know computers and code like the back of my hand. I can hack into government websites faster than YouTubers get their apology videos up, and I can handle code that seasoned experts struggle with in my sleep. The one thing I can't figure out is people. God, people are so exhausting, confusing, and I just don't get them. So much so that it's embarrassing. When I was hired by a very famous private agency at 15, yes, you know, the one that starts with an F, my one rule was don't ever call me, I won't pick up. I only do texting and email because in person, things just get lost. Don't you lose track, my dear friend. This is the awful truth. People are too unpredictable and emotional, boring. In my entire life, I kept finding myself in situations where I felt like I was from Mars. Like everyone else studied some social rule book that's in a language I don't speak. Tell me, have you ever felt that before? Don't try to fool me, I know many of you do. But by my senior year of high school, it was just different. I wanted to try the whole relationship thing. I was almost 18 years old and I didn't even know what it was like having a BFF. It was pathetic and also very sad. And regarding boyfriends, oh god. Kissing, holding hands, sharing secrets while walking below a starry sky, that was like Chinese to me. But sometimes, every once in a while, I wanted to be like Han and Leia, like Aragorn and Arwen, like Lily and James. Minus the whole death thing, of course. So I made it my mission to get my first kiss, but it went worse than I ever could have imagined and put me on a quest for revenge that would make John Wick look forgiving. It all happened very quickly. I walked into the first day of senior year with a goal to get closer to people, and it seemed like the universe was just handing it to me because when I walked in, Kim, the hottest guy in school, motioned for me to follow him. I had had a crush on Kim for pretty much my entire life. I mean, I had written fan fiction about him, a guy I actually knew, but I was a nerd. So when he went to the back door of the school and said, "I want to bring you somewhere private, I have to tell you something," you can bet I followed him without question. But as we walked to a nearby construction area, all I could think was, what does he want from me? Kim wasn't that kind of popular guy that bullied every nerd who crosses his path. But he either wasn't the kind of friendly, popular guy, you know what I mean? And as if he was reading my mind, he said to me, "I have a surprise for you," looking at me with that smile, the big smile. So I thought, oh my god, I'm about to have my first kiss. Did I brush my teeth? God, I had an onion bagel for breakfast. What was I thinking? Kim continued with his charming conquest and winked at me. I stuck my lips out, wishing I had lipstick in my bag when suddenly I was pushed backwards. I fell into a gigantic hole full of mud and dirty equipment. I didn't understand what happened until I looked up and saw classmates laughing and recording me. I tried to climb out of the hole, but I couldn't. Everyone ran away, and hours passed before workers came and helped me out. By then, I was crying. They offered to take me to the principal to get help, but I ran away instead, too embarrassed to face anyone. I grabbed my bike from the front of the school, covered from head to toe in mud. People at the entrance laughed at me yet again. As I biked away, tears streamed down my face. I thought, I work like a spy. I could have tattoos, I could dress cool, I could change my name. But to them, I'd still be a nerd. I've always been a nerd, and they've always bullied me. When I got home, I only wanted to hide in my room and never come out again. But while I was taking a shower, I realized it wasn't so bad after all. That horrible mud covered my entire face, and probably many people didn't recognize me. Everyone would forget about it in a week or two, I said to myself, finally feeling better. Little did I know, my sadness would turn into a wave of burning anger when I discovered the video of me falling had gone viral. Millions of people had seen it. All I can say is, Kim and his friends were lucky I didn't have a death note. I had to get revenge. I had enough. I was going to show those jerks what a nerd was capable of. That night, I reviewed the videos and angles of my fall. Using my skills, I was able to find out who filmed me and who my targets were. They were Kim's friends, Eli and Cooper and Kim. Now, it was time for the fun to begin. I hacked every one of their email accounts and every social media account in 5 minutes flat. I was practically yawning, it was so easy. And what I found inside was hilarious, to say the least. It was crazy. Eli was chatting with every girl in school, and he had sent all of them the same love poem he wrote. He just switched their name. Cooper had a page where he anonymously posted himself singing, and holy crap, it sounded like a cat being beaten. The best part? The songs he sang were originals about girls at our school. Then Kim, handsome, dumb Kim. They thought I was a nerd. But Kim had a fan account for Sailor Moon where he wrote as if he was her and talked about how she was in love with a man named Kim. I had plenty to ruin their lives. And why shouldn't I have? They ruined my life. They had stolen the moment that was supposed to be my first kiss. If you were in my place, wouldn't you have done the same? Anyways, the next morning, I ran into Adam, a fellow nerd. He wasn't as smart as me, but he was pretty talented. He told me, "I saw your video and I feel awful for you, but I might have something that can help. Meet me after class in the library." I didn't know how to feel. The last time I met someone, it ended with me getting shoved in a hole. I wasn't sure if I could trust Adam. I went to my locker trying to make a decision, and of course, there was a photo of me covered in mud pasted on the locker door. People around me giggled as I ripped it off and opened my locker. When I closed my locker, Kim appeared from nowhere with a jump that scared me like I was in Five Nights at Freddy's. He stood there pretending to be sad. He told me that he was ashamed and that he got me a gift to apologize. He handed me a box that looked like it could have a ring in it. But how could I trust that? This man ruined my life. Surely it was another trick. In my pain, I ripped the box from his hands and stomped on it. I snarled, "An apology doesn't cut it anymore. You and your little friends are gonna pay for what you did." Kim tried to say something back, but I shushed him and followed my way into a corridor full of mocking laughs. Did they laugh at me or at Kim? I walked with a smile on my face. Soon, that would be very clear to everyone. After school, I snuck into the library to spy on Adam before our meeting. I tucked myself in the corner and used my laptop to hack into Adam's and see what he was doing. But suddenly, my screen blacked out, and a message popped up. "Stop it, Casey. I know you're trying to hack me. Just come meet me already." I was shocked. Adam had good hacking abilities? I walked up to him frustrated and told him I wouldn't hack him anymore if he promised to help me with my revenge. Adam tried to tell me something, but I didn't want to hear any of his excuses. I made him promise to help me before he could get a word out, and he agreed. I showed him every bit of information I had, and he immediately said, "You hacking must be incredible to have found all this out. That stuff's like really private. It could ruin their lives." "That's the point," I chimed, looking at him, and his face was so incredible. He seems like a fan who finally could come closer to his idol. It was so funny. So for the rest of the afternoon, Adam and I talked about hacking. For once, I had someone who was actually impressed with me. When the library started to shut down, he even walked me home. And for the next few days, Adam and I spent all our time together. I suppose he was becoming my friend, and for the first time in years, I felt somebody cares about me. At one point, he told me I should work for the government. When I laughed, he said, "Holy crap, you have already? Are you a secret agent?" I winked and told him, "That's classified. Right now, we should focus on the mission." But Adam suddenly got very quiet and didn't speak for a long time. He seemed scared, full of doubts. Eventually, I got tired and asked him what was going on. Stammering, he said, "Casey, I need to tell you something. I know Kim didn't want to push you in that hole, and the reason I know that is because, well, I'm his little brother." Excuse me? This was worse than the "Luke, I am your father" moment. I thought of all the things I had shared with him over the past few days, how much I had let my guard down. My rage grew and I yelled, "Where are your cameras? I thought we were real friends. You're gonna regret this." I went straight home and dug up dirt on Adam. There was footage of him swinging a lightsaber in his underwear that would work perfectly. I stayed up all night, creating a YouTube channel that I named Dulci Vindicari, Latin for sweet revenge. I uploaded videos exposing each of the boys, Kim, Adam, Eli, and Cooper. And I won't lie to you guys, pressing upload was the most satisfying moment of my life. I suppose famous singers have that kind of feeling when they are upstage, receiving all the applause from their public. It was intoxicating. My whole life was making sense to me now. If only I had a bunch of nerdy friends who could celebrate with me this important event in the history of humanity. The next day, when I arrived at school, everyone was watching the videos and laughing. I saw Adam, Cooper, and Eli looking miserable, which soothed my soul, but I couldn't find Kim. I heard someone saying Kim was crying on the football field, and I ran outside. I wanted to see his sad look. But when I ran into him, he was smiling. He ran towards me and wrapped me in a hug. I thought maybe I'd fallen into an alternate dimension. I tried to push him back, but I couldn't escape. Then he whispered in my ear he didn't want me to fall. He wanted to confess his love for me, but those idiots did push me and embarrassed me in front of the entire school. He didn't know it was going to happen. You love me? Do you still? I asked. Kim smiled and said, I understand why you did what you did. I still love you. I just hope you like Sailor Moon. From that moment forward, Kim and I were a couple. We walked into school holding hands, and people seriously started pinching themselves to see if they were dreaming. The very next day, the student editor of the school news interviewed us, asking how we ended up together, and we told our story. We talked about the people that deceived us, the weeks I spent hating him, and how much we ended up loving each other. The story blew up, and soon actual news stations tried to interview us. Slowly, I went from nerd to the most popular girl in school. People admired my hacker abilities, and honestly, I think people were truthfully scared of me. My abilities even secured me a position with a top tech company when I graduated. You know, people like me get really bored at university, and if I could make tons of money now, why should I wait? Oh, don't insist, I can't say which. But think, schmoogle. Everything seemed to be falling into place perfectly. But there was one thing wrong. Adam forgave me for my actions because, honestly, he thought he looked good in the underwear video. But Eli and Cooper, they lost everything because of what I did, and they will make sure I know it. Nowadays, they glare at me. They have hate pages about me swearing payback will happen someday, and honestly, who can blame them? I suppose they both have a right to take their revenge, and when they do, whether it's tomorrow, next week, or years down the line, I'll gladly be waiting, like Beatrix Kiddo. And don't forget, if you want to hear more embarrassing stories like mine, be sure to like and subscribe.
Did you like this story? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Dear Diary as we post new stories every week.